We were taught that governments create policy to guide their people, but what if the reverse is true? What if people's choices, fueled by tools like Bitcoin, are forcing governments to adapt instead? Across Europe, individuals are increasingly rejecting traditional systems, leveraging Bitcoin to redefine sovereignty, and challenging the status quo in ways that ripple throughout the political, economic, and social landscapes. This isn't just about cryptocurrency, it's about the rebirth of personal agency in the age of bureaucratic overreach. So in this video, I want to share some thoughts in reference to how it's probable that Bitcoin reshaped how we live, its unique synergy with the nation of Switzerland as a potential Bitcoin hub, and its profound impact on Europe's energy and policy sectors. Let's talk about this one. Okay, so I want to take a quick minute to share some thoughts in reference to the recent talk around Bitcoin and how Switzerland is now being mentioned as a potential hub now that the people of Switzerland actually want the Swiss National Bank to take on Bitcoin as a reserve as well. And so that's just one more nation out of many where the people want the government to incorporate Bitcoin as a part of the official national reserve assets. And so heading into 2025, we're going to see and hear a lot more about Bitcoin at the national level. And therefore, that leads to more potential price appreciation in the days ahead as more people scramble to try to grab as much Bitcoin or Satoshis as they can. So as always, if you guys don't hear more of these little deep dive, definitely hit that thumbs up button to show support for the channel. And if you're new, make sure you subscribe and then take this and share it so that other people can get an alternative perspective as to what's going on in the global macro picture. But I think one of the biggest things to really understand is how Bitcoin is becoming this great migration of ideas as well as wealth. See, it isn't just about digital money. It's a lifeline for freedom. So people driven by critical thinking are increasingly moving to the nations that align with their values, creating a global Bitcoin diaspora. So this shift isn't about escaping taxes or hoarding wealth. It's about pursuing liberty, stability, and opportunity in a very volatile world. So consider Switzerland, for example, a country that has quietly become a beacon for Bitcoin enthusiasts. So with storied history of neutrality, decentralized governance, and respect for individual freedoms, Switzerland exemplifies how a nation can align with the ethos of Bitcoin. Bitcoiners find not just a haven for financial security, but also a fertile ground for innovation and adoption. Swiss policymakers are even exploring Bitcoin's mining potential role in stabilizing power grids and fostering renewable energy development. So the willingness to engage with Bitcoin is reshaping how nations think about this type of technology, as well as governance and the economy in general. And I think the next thing is really going to become a mainstream topic beyond Switzerland, how it's appearing Europe's having a Bitcoin awakening as well. Between opportunity and bureaucracy across Europe, Bitcoin's influence is undeniable, but it faces both opportunities and obstacles. See, nations like Germany and Australia wrestle with outdated bureaucratic frameworks that hinder innovation, while others like Switzerland demonstrate the possibilities of integrating Bitcoin into national identity. Take the European energy crisis as a case study. See, Bitcoin mining, often criticized for energy consumption, is emerging as a surprising ally in energy innovation. So miners are helping to stabilize grids, utilize surplus energy, and support renewable infrastructure, all while contributing to the local economies. So in regions like Germany, where energy security is a growing concern, Bitcoin mining could become a critical tool for resilience. But unfortunately, bureaucratic resistance remains a hurdle. So Europe's top-down regulatory structures often clash with Bitcoin's decentralized nature, creating friction that stalls progress. Yet, as more nations witness Bitcoin's potential to transform energy systems and empower citizens, these barriers may erode under public and economic pressure. And the final point that makes 2025 a potentially great year for Bitcoin and the decentralized space in general is the incoming policy shift, both here in the Western Hemisphere under the Trump administration, as well as the forced change that will take place on the Eastern Hemisphere as well, because all nations will be looking to use this digital asset revolution as a way to help slow down the erosion in the fiat world. And so it's a shifting away from the top-down model to the bottom-up, which is going to get a lot of attention in the days ahead. And so the rise of Bitcoin underscores a larger truth. People drive policy and not the other way around. So governments worldwide are grappling with a new reality that citizens armed with Bitcoin in their possession are harder to control, tax, and surveil. This shift is prompting a rethinking of policies that were once sacrosanct. And that's where Switzerland offers a compelling model. So its decentralized political system, combined with its openness to Bitcoin, highlights the benefits of listening to citizens and embracing technological changes. So as the Swiss National Bank explores Bitcoin's role in national reserves, other countries are going to take notice. So if Germany, Europe's largest economy, were to adopt a Bitcoin-friendly policy as well, it could catalyze a domino effect across the whole continent, therefore really setting off this Bitcoin's arm race of every nation trying to get a hold of Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is just the first, because it's good to say, as the momentum picked up with BTC, it's inevitably going to flow in other cryptocurrencies as well, just due to the supply and demand factor. And all that's taking place while Bitcoiners are becoming an undeniable political force. So their readiness to relocate and organize and vote with their wallets is reshaping elections and policymaking. This grassroots movement is a powerful reminder that sovereignty starts with individual action, not government decree. So the question you might be asking yourself, why does Bitcoin matter now more than ever? And it's simple. In a world where trust in institutions is crumbling, Bitcoin presents a new paradigm, one where individuals have the tools to reclaim power over their lives as well as resources. So its inelastic supply, decentralized nature, and ability to store and transfer value across borders makes it uniquely suited for an era of rapid change and uncertainty. And so Switzerland's role as a Bitcoin hub offers a glimpse into what's possible when governments align rather than resist the shift that they can no longer ignore. Meanwhile, Europe's energy and policy challenges reveal the high stakes of embracing or ignoring Bitcoin's potential. The future isn't just about technology, it's about people reclaiming their place at the center of decision making rather than an afterthought that governments love to only talk about when it's election time. Once again, just taking a minute to share some thoughts in reference to this potential Bitcoin revolution that's taking place and how Switzerland being brought into the equation as a potential hub, with the idea of the citizens trying to get a referendum there where all they need to do is get about 100,000 signatures or so, and then it must be brought before the politicians to vote on. That's something that could be big in the future. Therefore, if Switzerland get into the race, Europe will have to follow suit, and then all the Asian nations will have to jump on board, which would then put more pressure on incoming president in the U.S., Donald Trump, because he will definitely have to make a move because they're creating a whole hysteria around racing to get as much Bitcoin as they can, which in my personal opinion was a part of the plan all along. And that is why Bitcoin was created in the first place, in my opinion. But anyway, just taking a minute to share some thoughts in reference to what's happening. Curious to hear what you think. What other nations are you hearing about that could be next as far as adding Bitcoin reserves? Drop a comment down below. Definitely would love to hear that. And then if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and take this, as I mentioned before, share it. Other people can get an alternative perspective as to what's going on. And I'll catch you guys later.